Hi everyone, welcome back to Creative Chaos. Mom, if you're watching, stop now. This is your Mother's Day present, so I don't really think she's watching, but just in case she is, I just don't want her to be, um, I just don't want her to be I want her to be surprised on Mother's Day, is what I'm saying. So, I have some apatite beads. It's spelled Apatite, and they're actually stone chips. They're not beads, but I am just getting them off of the fishing line, I guess it would be, and into a cup. Makes it much easier. And then I'm also going to be using some. Do I use them? Nope, I think I just use the apatite beads. So I'm also using a stone. I wish I could remember what the stone was called. It's not turquoise, it's not apatite, but it's one that came in a whole bunch of pieces that I had to glue together. So, but it makes a really cool rock formation. So I have, let's see, it got one wire, and I think I need to cut the others. I've already cut the others. Okay, so I cut 27 pieces of wire, and I believe I cut them to 24 inches long. I wanted this to be not a really big tree, but not a tiny one either. So I cut them to 24 inches, and I'm putting 3 chips in place. I am leaving about a quarter of an inch or about a centimeter of wire to do the twisting. And we're going to do 5 little branches per, well, what do you call them? Stems? 5 little leaf patches? I don't know. So we'll call them leaves. We're going to do 5 little leaves per branch. How's that? Let's see. Oh, nope, I do. Okay, so I get out my little rondelles. They are just 4 millimeter rondelles, click glass, and I just put them on the bottom 2, and it just gives it, oh, you guys, it just gives it this little extra sparkle, and it's so pretty. So I put 3 of those on the 2 bottom leaf clusters. There you go. Whatever we want to call them. And then after I have done that, I twist it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 times, 6 to 8 times. It just really depends on how far away from the bigger branches you want it to go. So let's repeat that one more time. So we start off with our 3, pull it up to the end, and we're going to twist about 4 times. And then we're going to do another 3. Finding the holes on these rock chips is awfully difficult, but oh, it's so worth it. I just love the naturalness of the rock chips and how organic it just looks. It really is so pretty. And these apatite chips are interesting when they are in clustered together like that in the cup or on the what's it called, the fishing wire. They look dark, but when you get it out in the tree and into the light, they almost go iridescent. It's so pretty. And so that's why I liked pairing it with the rock cluster that I put down, or that I glued together. They just kind of come together, and these colors just remind me of my mom. So now we're putting on the rondelles, and just 3 of those, in case I didn't mention that the first. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but just in case. And then 1 on the other side. And then we're going to twist it another about 6 times. Yep. And that's 2 of them together. So let's fast forward. Now we're going to take 2 of them. I'm going to put my finger through the center of both the wires so that you've got 1 on each side, and I'm going to do 1 to lock it into place and then 2 full twists, 3 full twists, and then I'm going to take a third one and do the same thing. This just lowers the branch, one of the branches a little bit so that it sits it's not so clustered together, and you can kind of spread it out and see how pretty that turns out. Oh, I just love it. So we're going to do that with all of them. So again, we're going to put 2 together. I do 1 half turn to lock it into place and then 2 to 3 full turns. And I do that the same thing with the third branch that we put on there. Kind of spread it out. It just winds up looking so pretty. Now, it's interesting. Somebody on one of my Facebook what's the word? With my Facebook groups, thank you, I'm really good at English. One of my Facebook groups asked how many wires people use on their trees most of the time, and my mind was flabbergasted. They were talking about doing 100, they were talking about doing 200 for these trees. I'm like, what kind of bases are you putting these giant trees on? And so, because I usually do, the most I might do is the 27. Usually that gives me a pretty full looking tree. So to do 100, I am like, wow. So I didn't respond, and I feel like I should just go back in, and because she was like, I can't believe you guys do this many. And I really felt like I should go back in and say, well, I only do this many. Because I typically try to do it in groups of 3s. And so if I want like a really awesome number, I'll do it in groups of 9s. And so just because it comes out even when we are combining all of our branches here. So that boggled my mind. I just thought I'd share that with you. So we've got almost all of them done here. Can you see how busy and messy my place is? I have been doing a whole bunch of other types of trees trying to clean it up, but it's not it's not getting very clean. And I've got a big dinner this weekend that I really need to clean up for. So that'll be my goal this weekend, is to try to tidy up my space. Okay, lock it into place and then give it a couple twists. And do that with 1 more. Just a half twist to lock it into place, and then 2 full twists. Nope, 3 full twists. Now we're going to just basically do the same thing. We're going to take 2 of these bigger branches, place them together, give it 3 full twists. And then we're going to take 1 more. And again, it's just going to do that same thing where you get one that sits a little bit lower than the other 2. Do the same thing here. So we got 2 together. Then find the third one. And because I did this in groups, more of a group of 9, like 9 times 3, I'm going to end up with 3 bunches. Okay, now we're going to combine these 2. I'm giving one another twist so that it sits a little bit higher, because I want it to be the top of the tree. And then we're going to pull down this one right here, and that'll be the lowest of the group. And then we're just going to give it several twists to make the trunk. Now it's harder at this point to do the twisting. It really is rough on my hands and I have a difficult time doing it. But I also like to try to twist it as much as possible because I like it when the trunk isn't just straight. I don't think trunks are typically just straight. I mean, they go straight up, but they have little wiggles in them here and there. And I like it when a trunk just looks like it has some character to it. Now, and this is usually the point where you have a hard time seeing what I'm doing because of the angle I have to hold the trunk or the tree. I am pulling together some wires to start the root system. So I pulled together probably about 6 wires or so and just start the trunk system. And I'm just going to do that the whole way around. I try to find wires that are close together in the way that they twist so that it doesn't look like I'm pulling wires, and it will leave giant gaps if you're not careful. So we're going to keep pulling through. I think I end up with 6 root systems, and then we're just going to keep twisting and twisting. I'm excited to give this to my mom for Mother's Day. I really hope she likes it. She liked one of the first ones that I showed her. I did. And as a matter of fact, she asked if she could give it to my sister-in-law, and I was so happy to do so. So we've got one side done, and now I'm starting to work on the other root system. And then what we'll do is we'll take those smaller root systems. Yeah, I'm taking some pliers just because I wasn't able to tighten it up very much. And then we'll start branching off of those to make even smaller roots. And the rock that I have put together is very narrow, so I'm not going to do like a really wide. I'm going to trim them off pretty close up. And then we're just going to keep doing that on the rest of them. It's probably my least favorite part, doing the roots, just because by that time my hands are so tired that it's difficult to manipulate the wire the way that I want to. And because they're shorter, and so it's, again, harder to manipulate the wire the way I'd like to. But it's also one of those parts that's really rewarding because when you got everything put together and you've twisted them the way you want to twist them, it just makes them look so nice. Look at that. I'm just desperate and I'm twisting the entire tree. Oh, the things we do. But it does help to tighten things up, and then you can trim off the excess wire. Just gonna get that one twisted. See, I can't imagine doing this with 200 wires. I mean, this one I did, what was it, 20, either 24 or 27 So that makes it 48 to 52, or 51, I mean. No, what's 50? What's 27 times 2? 54. Okay, now I'm just trying to flatten things out. Um, it makes it easier to glue that bottom of the trunk to the rock when you flatten it out. And then I am curling in the ends, just taking my is it needle nose? No, round nose pliers? Round nose pliers. And I am manipulating, kind of twisting and turning some of the roots, and then doing a spiral at the end. And I always switch between twirling them either to the right or to the left because you want variety. Again, nature doesn't always have things swirling and twirling in the same direction. I'm sure it does here and there, but for our purposes today, it's definitely not. Nature's name is Laurie, and Laurie doesn't like that. So there's our root system. Now we're going to place it over our rock, and we're going to try to manipulate the metal to go into any crevices, to go around any rock pieces, any cliff sides, and get an idea of where it needs to be. Then we're going to take some elastics and wrap it around and try to wrap it over your little curly cues so that it holds them down and close to the rock. Now I forgot to tape removing the elastic, so we didn't get that part, but I did remember to at least go in and take a picture at the last. And yes, my piano does need to be dusted. I apologize, but it's not getting dusted today, so I don't apologize that hard. So we're just going to take and put our elastic around, and then I use E6000 glue. Excuse me. Just get everything out of the way. Pull open our E6000, and then we're just going to glue things down. I don't really show it because it's hard. Well, mostly I don't show it because I'm bad at camera angles, but I do get it underneath the root, and then I'm putting it underneath every single one of those curly cues, at least the ones that I can get. And that makes our tree. Well, everyone, this is another wired tree tutorial by Laurie. I hope you're not getting tired of them. I really am still enjoying making them and just having a good time. And so I hope that you're enjoying them as well. I'll try to do something new in the next couple of weeks, but work is a little crazy and my husband has to have another surgery, so it might be a little while. Anyways, I hope that you all have a great day, and I hope you make it a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.